So I'll now be guiding you through a slow Sun Salutation A and calming sequence before. And we're just going to get started down on the mat here. So falling down to your knees, taking your knees to the outside width of the mat, toes touching behind you. Starting to sink your hips back and then walk your fingertips forward on the mat. You can rest your forehead down here, trying to stretch through the spine, creating that length. Walking your fingertips even further forward as you exhale. Maybe you rock your forehead from side to side, releasing any tension from the day. So our child's pose is an area where we can find stillness. A nice way to connect with the earth as it rotates underneath you. And we'll move into another breathing technique here, our Ujjayi Breathing. So for Ujjayi Breathing, you're keeping your lips sealed as you inhale and you exhale. Inhaling deep through the nose, and then exhaling through the nose. Your exhales can be audible like ocean waves. Just watching the rise and fall of your breath. And on your next inhale, starting to walk your fingertips to the right corner of the mat, maybe even to the right side, just coming off to your mat here. Your left hand will stack on top of your right wrist. You'll find a nice stretch in the left side body. Leaning into this, and again, finding your breath to find that depth. Slowly walking your fingertips back through center. And then over to the other side. Right hand will now stack above that left wrist. Leaning into that right hip as you stretch through the right side body. On your next inhale, move yourself back through center. We're going to shark sprint our child's pose here. So the palms of the hands will touch. Starting to bend through the elbows, the hands come to the back of the neck. Stretching through our triceps, maybe pulling our elbows on that mat, finding that tension. Breathing into that space. And then slowly releasing the hands back down. We'll move into a tabletop pose next. So coming up to all fours, our hips are stacked above our knees and our shoulders above our wrists. Finding a neutral spine and again pulling the crown of the head away from the tailbone. Pressing into your fingertips, taking the weight away from your wrists. Tops of the feet are touching down to the mat. We'll move through some cow and cat poses here. So as you inhale, dropping the navel and raising the gaze for your cow pose. Breathing in as you inhale. And then exhale to round the spine, tucking the chin to the chest, the navel draws up and in. Arching the spine as you exhale. Inhaling to find your cow again. And then exhaling for your cat. Moving through this one more time, inhale. And exhale. Coming back to your neutral spine, we'll take this cow and cat sequence one more time. But this time I invite you to take any intuitive movements that come to you. Maybe wiggling through the spine, sending the weight back into the hips, making some waves, and just trying to coordinate them with your inhales and your exhales. And then coming back to that neutral spine. Our downward facing dog is next. We'll untuck the toes, pressing into the palms and making an inverted V shape with the body. Setting the hips up high, really pressing the mat away. Just noticing where you are on your first downward facing dog. Maybe your heels don't touch the ground just yet. But just rolling from side to side. Maybe you take the toes a little closer and then fall to the right side of your right foot. And then sweeping the feet over to the other side. And then again back to your downward facing dog. Finding a focal point on the back of the mat behind you. Your yoga drishti, a non-moving focal point, helping you focus in your poses, your asanas. And then starting to take your gaze to the top of the mat, slowly walking your feet up to meet your palms. Coming into our Ragdoll Pose here. Hinging at the waist, opposite hands can clasp opposite elbows, hugging the torso close into the thighs. Really finding that release in the hamstrings, fully surrender to this pose, allowing gravity to do all of the work for you. Maybe you find some movement swaying from side to side, loosening through the lower back. Here you can release any tension in your neck, in your jaw, maybe opening your mouth for a yawn. And then on your next inhale, slowly rising up, one vertebrae at a time, lifting the head last, coming into your Namaste, equal standing pose. Rolling your shoulders back, closing down through the eyes. Inhaling deeply here. Exhale to release. Moving through one Sun Salutation A. As we inhale, we'll reach our hands up high for a mountain pose. As you exhale, bring the hands to heart center and fold all the way down to the ground. Again, hinging at the waist, allowing the top half of the body just to relax all the way down. As you inhale, come to a halfway lift, 90-degree angle, flat back. Roll the shoulders back again and pull the crown of the head away from your tailbone. Exhale the hands down to the ground, step the feet back for a high plank. Slowly lowering yourself all the way down to the mat. Untuck the toes, zip the legs together. Or move through a baby cobra. As you inhale, shine the head and the chest up. Try hovering the hands slightly, strengthening through the back body. And then exhale to release the hands back down, tuck the toes, sending the weight back for your downward facing dog. Breathing here, 3 rounds of breath. Maybe pedaling out your dog, finding those movements. Maybe stillness is what you need. Shifting your gaze to the front of the mat and then traveling forwards. Inhaling up to a mountain pose. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale the hands down, step the feet back, and go through a flow, lowering from high to low plank, inhaling for an up dog or a baby cobra, and then exhale downward facing dog. 2 rounds of breath here. So that is our Sun Salutation A in our calming sequence. So you can repeat that as many times as you want, just linking your breath with your movement and using it as a moving meditation. Thank you very much.